Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay, we're
Setting
good.
up our meeting. Are we good?
We are
We're live
good.
on Facebook. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday, December 1st. Woohoo!
December 1st. Wow. Wow. Welcome to Breast Care is Self-Care. And our focus today, so juicy, coming right out of Thanksgiving week in a time where we are giving and giving and giving in so many different ways. So our focus is on nurturing, over-nurturing, or perhaps not having enough of that nurturing, or perhaps even the concept of self-nurturing. So nurturing, 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 and how that relates to our healing process. So in Chinese medicine, the 5-element consciousness way of looking, the stomach and the spleen, the digestive system, is connected with our earth energy. So Mama Earth, who's going to nurture everything that resides in here. Now I say that, but does she overgive? Does she not allow herself to receive the bounty from the greater universe? Does she not do whatever she needs to do, sometimes looking kind of crazy, like it could be an earthquake or a pandemic, to reset the balance and harmony of things? She will do everything she needs to do to keep that energy in a good state of balance and harmony. So the stomach energy, in addition, when we think about the digestive system, from a meridian line perspective, is going to run right through the center of our nipple. So when we think about, yes, nurturing, literally, whether you've had a child or not, our nurturing energy is supported and connected to our digestive system energy. So I'm going to pause and see what that brings up for you, Chantal.
Yes, a couple of thoughts came to me. First of all, the overgiving part, definitely related to breast cancer. And I'm saying this without having done any scientific research, but mostly on what I've noticed about women that have breast cancer. Most often, and I include myself in it, we put ourselves at the bottom or not even on the screen of what is happening. So the concept of overgiving is something that comes from the heart and also from the ground. So it's both. Something about being grounded in our reality. Our body gives us signal every single time. Tired, thirsty, need something. It's ongoing. It's really the homeostasis principle. Now, if we bypass those messages, they don't go away. They get louder and louder. And Melissa, you were talking about this in your post. I believe it's yesterday, where you talked about it starts with a headache. And if it's not attended to, it continues into something else and eventually becomes stuck energy into a mass. Now, emotionally speaking, that happens as well. And I'm really big on the emotional, energetical component of what happens, because our body speaks the truth. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk has done a tremendous amount of research. He is the founder of the Trauma Center in Boston to really document what happens between adverse childhood experiences, aka childhood trauma, and later in life, sometimes 30 years later, how the body breaks down because some of the emotions and the memories are repressed in the body. And it's hard to make that conscious. So yeah. I'm just going to pause here, because that's really the overgiving, is we lose track of the symptoms, the signs, the calls that our body emotions are giving us. We bypass that.
Yeah. So another angle of looking at what you just said. So when we think of, those adverse childhood experiences, now, when we talk about the bigger picture of the digestive system, I'm not just talking about food. Your digestive system has to receive, process, digest, and transform everything. So that includes emotions, experiences, information. So when you're a child, you're having an experience traumatically and all kinds of experiences in terms of the trauma that you can't digest. You don't have the skills. It's too overwhelming, but it's still there. So it almost becomes like undigested food, undigested energy, undigested experience that sits here, right? So what happens with our digestive system processing, you get to the point where, okay, now where I'm at in my life, I have accumulated enough energy, enough wisdom, enough support to begin that processing. So there's layer by layer by layer by layer of taking it from that place of stagnation to opening it up to this place where now we can move beyond that. We've transformed, we can take it, it's not even part of our framework anymore. So what we're speaking about in particular, when it gets to be a breast cancer diagnosis, we didn't get that piece yet. Now that doesn't mean that that's okay. We got to the level of like what was energetic became a mass and that there's nothing we can do. That's not true at all. It just means like, okay, all those things, like kind of to rewind, that you were getting signs that, you know, whether it was just like to tend to your bodily needs or to tend to your emotional needs that are starting to, because as this wants to heal, you're going to get all these different things. It could be the word that came to my mind is flashback. It could be that, or it could also be that there's experiences in your current reality that are activating and being like, triggering, activating that because it wants you to look at it. It wants you to see it. You're ready to see it. So the key becomes opening up, seeing it, trusting that if it's showing up for you, you do have that ability to digest, right? No matter how stuck and stagnant that is, that potential is still there. Just like Earth has the potential to digest everything infinitely, you have the potential within you as well.
So what you just said that really I appreciate, Melissa, is that both. If you find yourself with a breast cancer diagnosis, which is what I'm dealing with again, I could be very daunted by how much work I've already done emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, name it, I've done it. Yet it comes back, right? So when I'm looking at this, I'm not looking at this from a place of what have I missed, even though sometimes I go there. What else am I not seeing? That kind of thing. I go back, and if we go back to receiving and giving, I want to, piggyback to what we started with. There's something about spending conscious moments, which is for me in the meditation in the morning kind of thing. I reconnect and I ask my body to speak to me. It's that simple. Like this morning, I was looking at my heart. I was really feeling what's happening in my chest. And I was really connecting and saying, after I did all my calming meditation part, calm the mind, focus, be here now, that kind of thing, bodies relax. I open to divine, I call it divine guidance or higher guidance. And I really do believe that my body will give me a response, and that response is not going to be of the mind because it comes clear and simply. I talked about this, I think, on Monday, receiving light and messages. But basically, I ask my body, so what is it that you need today? What do you have a message for me and I was focusing on my chest. And all I heard is, be kind to me. And then when I heard that, I thought, okay, this is it. So the receiving part, I'm receiving the message and I decide, where do I want? Like I'm putting it through my day, through every experiences, being kind, slow down when I drive, take the time to eat, have boundaries with people. These are the things that have come up this morning. Be clear about my requests and know that I matter enough to ask for what I want and need. So all of these things are the receiving part. Now, having been, like I said, an adverse childhood experience survivor, I was geared, literally geared to have my focus outward. Who needs what? Can I give more? And always under the basic premise that if I do all that, if I give a lot and I keep working hard and more, I will receive love. Well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. I mean, some people will love me and have loved me, but I wasn't able to receive it because it's always in my mind, do more, not enough, that kind of thing. And then now is the time. My body is like, hey, hello. If not now, when? Right? So this concept of energetic block or emotional block for me that is lodged into my chest is calling my attention through simple messages to open my heart to me and to be kind to me. And then I can extend that to others. But right now the focus is like,
I know.
how can I realign with healing in here?
I love what you're speaking to. Having a conscious conversation with your body.
Yeah.
So when these, even if you don't, you haven't taken a class and have a framework yet for understanding this, you have the highest, most powerful, more powerful than anyone outside of you, that healer, that master that's within you. So honoring that master by giving it yourself the space to just be with whatever is coming up and listen to what you receive and trusting what you receive is super powerful. And doing that as a practice, so you build that connection over time. So looking at it, from this earth nurturing perspective, and I hinted like part of what earth is like, you think I'm doing this on my own? I ain't. I'm not. I'm part of the greater universe. Things you guys don't even know about are influencing what I do here. The same goes for us, right? We are, whether we talk about it as being guides or it's a more grounded, like the support that's around you, allowing yourself to receive and tap into that. And most importantly, receiving support from you, like being aligned with that truth, that voice that comes from within.
Yeah, I mean, being your best friend, no matter what the conditions have been in our childhood, when I revert back to the child inside and I pose those messages, I honestly could tell you that a few years ago, I would have rolled my eyes backward. Here we go, the inner child work again, blah, blah, blah. So it's not a concept. It's actually holding all of who we are, all the parts of who we are. So that's the digestion process. That's the taking in and integrating. It's the part of you that needs, like for me, the message was be kind to yourself. But I've also been very angry lately, very, very angry. And then I love her too. That one that spits fire, I'm like, you know what? For years, I repressed that anger. And I do believe that a big part of what's happening and got stuck in here was that repressed anger. Mm-hmm. I have conscious memories of my chest doing this, closing in so that I would not let anyone in, so that I would not get hurt again. That was my reality. Not to say that it had to be yours, or it has to be yours. But really, this physical, energetical compression of my heart center is really what I did. So now, by opening the message, opening the conversation to me and what's happening in there, there's space that is being created and I can feel it. When I'm done, I feel it. It opens up. And the digestion, the grounding happens because then I relax into my nervous system. I feel my feet on the ground. I always run the light from the crown to my feet, like I talked about on Monday, really to the center of the earth. And sometimes I even imagine Mother Earth holding me. Like you were talking about holding a baby, holding me. I rest in there. I rest. I don't have to do anything. I simply am. And so I believe this is how healing happens. Self-care is that tuning in, listening, taking in, being held by the earth and also by the universe.
And by yourself.
Yeah.
All of that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness, this is so beautiful and exciting to explore. And I'm excited too, because next Wednesday, December 8th, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., we are going to be exploring this further and looking at different frameworks to help you to understand these concepts. So we would love you to join us. We'll make sure that the link to do so is in our chat, and it's all over the place in this Facebook group. But yes, so we'll be expanding upon, and if you attended the first session that we did together, if you're hearing us talk, you'll see things come out different all the time between the two of us, which is the beautiful gift of our collaboration. And if you can't attend live, it will be recorded. You just need to register to receive that recording. So thank you so much for joining us. Any final comments?
I'm saying about, yes, I do have a comment, and just in terms of this time of the year and how, we're going into winter, and I know at some point you may talk about kidneys and adrenals and resting. But I'm just aware as we go into Christmas, I mean, this is Hanukkah right now if you're Jewish, and then we're going to the season of the light to Christmas. I really invite you to not be so outward. I invite all of us to not be so about what else am I going to shop for? What else am I going to put out and cook more and do this decoration and make, put out that show. Like, again, find that balance. I'm inviting you to really, I'm inviting all of us to have a balance as we go through this holiday, because our body is not unlimited. I believe we can connect to unlimited energy, but there's a limited amount of energy that we have. So foster this energy, take care of yourself. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. I hope you're there at 11 o'clock with Melissa and I, because we rock that.
Yeah. And we're going to do it again. Thank you. And yes, we didn't discuss this, but I'm going to tap into that on Friday when I do my little drop-in live. So
awesome.
there you go.
Yay.
All right, everyone. Have a beautiful day.
Have a good day.